Students, so here we go. Let's explore numerical expressions together a little bit. You have watched already a video from YouTube that I selected for you. Now let's explore together a little bit more, okay? So first of all, I want to talk to you guys about what is a numerical expression, okay? The guy in the video talked about how to solve it in the correct order, but I want to make sure you know what a numerical expression actually is. So when I write a sentence like that, and I'm not trying to solve it, I'm just expressing an idea, I call this a numerical expression because it's showing me the addition of two numbers, the sum of 4 and 3, using numbers and symbols. That's it. So this is an example of a numerical expression, the sum of 4 and 3. Not trying to solve, just expressing the idea that I'm adding 4 and 3. Here's another example. I have the product of 3 and 2 in addition to adding 4 to that. So I have the sum of 4 and the product of 3 and 2. I'm expressing this, and of course I would have to solve it to find how much it is. That means I'm evaluating the numerical expression or solving the numerical expression. And here's another one where I multiply 8 by 5 and then I add 1. Okay, now notice that these two last examples have more than one operation. This one has addition and multiplication, this one has multiplication and then addition. And I know the guy in the other video already showed you an example of this, but I want to show you another one, okay? So notice that if I solve a numerical expression in a different order, I get different results, okay? And this is what I want to show here with another example that is actually longer and has more operations than the one in the other video. So here I have addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. And if you guys didn't know any better, and if you hadn't watched the other video, you would probably think that I would just solve this normally from left to right, and I would not really care which operations I had to do first. So you might even type this in your calculator, and the calculator might do it in that order. So if I didn't know any better, I would probably just add the 4 and the 6, and that would give me a 10. And then I would multiply by 4, and then I would do the subtraction, and then I would finally do the division. I'm just doing this in order. So I did this first, right? Now I'm going to multiply the result here by 4. So that would give me 40. And then now I have to subtract the 10, and then last I would divide. So I would now do the subtraction, and I would do 30, right? And then I would divide by 2, and I would get the 15, okay? So if I'm actually doing it in this order, okay? Let me erase this now. Erase pen, here we go. If I'm actually doing it in this order, this is what I would do, and I would get the 15, correct? However, you guys know better. You have watched the other video, and you know that there is an order to be followed. And that guy said that multiplication and division actually should be done first. So this is how this one would look like. Check this out. I would first have to do the multiplication and then division. And because I have both of them here, I would solve these from left to right, meaning I would not do the addition, I would not do the subtraction. I have to do these first, and because this one comes first from left to right, I would actually do my multiplication first. So this is what it would look like. The 4 would still be there. 6 times 4 is 24. So I would replace, hold on, not yet. Let me get my pen. I would replace this 6 times 4 by 24 by doing the multiplication already, and then not do anything else yet. Next, I would have to do my division. So I would have to do this and replace the 10 divided by 2 by what it is equal to, without doing the addition, without doing the subtraction. So here we go. Now that I've done my multiplication and my division, I would actually be able to do my addition and subtraction. And because here I have both of them, I would do it in order from left to right by doing first my addition, 4 plus 24 is 28, and then my subtraction, 28 minus 5, which is 23. And what that guy was saying in that video is, look, it does matter. If I do the exact same numerical expression in a different order, I get different answers. And the correct answer in the standard, international standardized version of the correct order of operations is not this one, where we solve things in the order that they come, but this one, where I actually use the rule of doing multiplication and division before I do my addition and subtraction. So the correct answer is 23. But miss, why? Why this rule? Why multiplication and division first? Who is the king that decided that that's the correct way to do it? I want to do it my way. Well, first of all, you guys, you have to agree that I can't have the same problem and each person decide how they want to solve and get a different answer. We got to have one same answer for the problem. And this order that was chosen, of course, has a logic behind it. You know how math people are. They like things to be logical. And math was actually created to solve problems. So these rules came out of the actual order that we usually solve things when we're solving word problems in math. Okay, it actually makes sense. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is the video that you watched, showed you this in the end. That first we have these parentheses and brackets that were invented. I'm going to talk about why these were created. Okay, then we have the exponents, and then the multiplication, division, and then the addition and subtraction. All right, some people like to think about this because, well, think about this. Multiplication is a repeated addition. So it's kind of like stronger than addition. It's a bunch of addition. And division is kind of like repeated subtraction. Remember, we're taking away groups and groups and groups to see how many fit inside of the total that we start with. And so if division is a bunch of subtraction, it's stronger than subtraction, it should come first. And then if you think about that way, exponents are a bunch of multiplication, right? It's repeated multiplication. So it's stronger than multiplication and it should come first. And parentheses and brackets are just a way for us to force something to happen first. Depending on the situation, we do want to group some numbers together first. And we want this to be able to trump everything else that comes after. So a lot of people like to remember that order that way, thinking of the priority, like this is the king, right, of everything. And this is maybe the prince. And then we have the cousins and etc., etc. But I actually like to explain to students why this works that way, okay? And there's a reason. I'm going to show you 3 examples of numerical expressions created on word problems, and you'll see why multiplication, for example, is usually done before addition. Let's take a look at this problem. Luke has 3 lemons at home. He needed more to make lemonade. He went to the supermarket and bought 2 packs with 5 lemons in each pack. How many lemons does he have now? Well, I'm not going to solve this. I know you guys can solve this even in your head. But because we're talking about numerical expressions, I want to start practicing writing a numerical expression that represents this problem. So Luke starts with 3 lemons. Here we go. He goes to the supermarket to buy more lemons. I'm going to add more lemons to the amount that he already has. And I know he bought 2 packs of 5 lemons. So I know he bought 10. But I'm not going to solve it yet. I'm just going to represent that here. So if it's 2 packs of 5, he bought 2 groups of 5. And when I put this together, I just created a numerical expression that translates this problem. And notice that here, it does indeed make sense for us to do the multiplication first. It doesn't make sense for me to add the 3 and the 2, because these are not 2 lemons. These are 2 packs. What does it even mean to add 3 lemons plus 2 packs? I don't know what that is. I need to find out how many lemons I have here first so that I can add to the 3 lemons that I already had. So it actually makes sense for me to first unpack this. I have 2 groups of 5, 2 packs of 5 lemons. So it makes sense for me to multiply this first and say, well, he bought 10 lemons at the supermarket. And since he already had 3, now he has 13. So notice that in a real problem situation, it does make sense for us to multiply first and then do the addition. Okay? Let's look at another example. Tina went to a fast food restaurant. She bought 3 sandwiches for $4 each, 2 sodas for $2 each, and an ice cream for $3. How much did she pay? Again, simple math. I might even be able to do this in my head, but my goal here is not to solve it, but to write an expression that represents this problem. So if I'm going to write a numerical expression here, let's see, to find out how much money she paid, I need to know how much she paid for each one of the items that she bought. So she bought 3 sandwiches for $4, so of course 3 groups of 4. And I know that she spent $12 on sandwiches. And then she bought 2 sodas, and each one cost $2. So I know she paid $4 for the sodas. And on top of that, she paid $3 for an ice cream. And if I want to find the total, it makes sense for me to add these amounts. So notice that I haven't actually done any math yet. I'm just showing with an expression what the problem is telling me. And this is now a numerical expression that translates this problem. And again, notice that it doesn't make sense for me to do my additions first. It makes sense for me to do all my divisions to find out how much she paid for each item. Well, she paid $12 for the sandwiches. She paid $4 here for the sodas and $3 here for the ice cream. And then we add to find the total that she paid. 12 plus 4 is 16 plus 3, she paid a total of $19. So just to show you with a couple of real-world problems that it does make sense to do the multiplication before we add to find the total. We unpack first, and then we find the addition, okay, and the sum. Let's look, though, at this last example. Remember that guy in the video said that we should be doing the parentheses and the brackets first, then the exponents, and then the multiplication and division from left to right, and then the addition and subtraction from left to right. Right? So let's go over this problem together and write an expression first to see how it would be written. Tina and Luke went trick-or-treating for Halloween. They agreed they would put all their collected candy together and share the total equally. Tina got 36 candies and Luke got 24. How much did each person get? Well, again, I know I have 2 people. One of them got 36 candies. I start writing that. Don't do any math, just write down. Okay, just translating. Then Luke got 24. I know I'm going to want to add that together to find the total because they want to share that total that they got together, right? So if they want to share that total equally, it would make sense for me to say, well, now that I have this total, I want to divide it by 2. And this would be my numerical expression. And now look at what that guy said. If I don't have this problem here to guide me, right? If I don't look at this and I just look at that guy said that I should do my division first and then do my addition. But wait a minute, I don't want to do that here in this situation because I don't want to just divide by 2 the amount that Luke got. I want to find the total that they had together first and then split the total amount into 2. So in this case, that's where we introduce those parentheses or brackets because I want to group this, I want to actually do this addition first. And if I just follow this order of operations, I can't. I would have to divide first. So by introducing the parentheses here, I make sure that this gets grouped together, that the parentheses trump whatever I have to do first, because that really does come first now. And I have to do inside the parentheses the addition first and then divide. So those parentheses were created there on top because of that. Because depending on the situation, sometimes for some word problems, it actually does make sense to do the addition first and then divide or multiply. So we introduce the parentheses to be able to make that happen. And that's why that's the first one in line. Because if I do put parentheses, I want that to be done first for a certain reason, and I must be doing that before I do anything else. Okay? So here we go. This is what the guy said. Multiplication, division first. Actually, sorry, not first, but before addition and subtraction. Parentheses or bracket are definitely the first thing you have to do. And then exponents. Since they're repeated multiplication, they kind of make sense to be done before the multiplication itself. So this is what it looked like in that video that you watched, right? First, parentheses and brackets. Then the exponents. Thank God we learned about that last week. Then multiplication and division. And if they both appear in the same expression, make sure you solve them from left to right, whatever comes first, from left to right. And finally, I do my addition and subtraction again from left to right, whatever came first. But you might be thinking, Miss, that's a lot to remember. How am I ever going to remember that? It's a lot of things. Brackets, parentheses, exponents, additions, confusing. Well, I have somebody who can help us. And that person is my dear and beloved Aunt Sally. You might be thinking, what? Yep, my Aunt Sally happens to be a very nice person, but she's always so clumsy. She always drops things or makes things fall on the floor or is leaving things behind or losing her keys and her glasses. And she's all the time she's saying, oh, please excuse me. I didn't do it on purpose. So I keep telling people, oh, just be patient with my Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And you might be like, well, okay, how does that help me? Well, here's how. Here's my dear Aunt Sally and her funny, silly face. And here's the order of the operations we're supposed to remember. Remember first parentheses or brackets, then exponents, then multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. And I tell you that for each of those operations, I want you to remember a sentence that will help you remember that order. So for P, for the parentheses, we're going to say the word please. For E, exponents, we're going to say the word excuse. For M and D, multiplication, division, my dear. Here's the M, here's the D. And then for addition, subtraction, Aunt Sally. So it's going to look like this. Please, excuse, my dear, Aunt Sally. And notice I said those together on purpose because multiplication and division are at the same level. And those I have to do in order. I don't have to do the multiplication and then the division. It depends on which one came first, okay? And same thing for addition, subtraction. So that's the sentence, and that's how my dear Aunt Sally is going to help you. By remembering this sentence, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, that you're going to remember the order of operations. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So just repeat after me. I know it's going to sound silly, and people who are next to you there at home might be saying, why are you talking to yourself? Miss Elisa asked me to repeat after her, and you're going to say it the exact same way I'm saying it. Okay, try it. Let's go. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. One more time. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Remember this sentence and it will help you remember the order of operations, okay? So just to summarize, here's my Aunt Sally. Here's the order you have to remember. Here's what that guy said on that video. Parentheses and brackets, exponents, multiplication, division, left to right, all that information just in that one sentence. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Got it? Let's try. Okay, a few examples, and this is the last slide I'm going to be showing you here. Okay, let's do some together. Remember the order of operations. What's that sentence again? Say it. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Left to right, left to right. So let's look at this first one here. I only really have two operations there, right? Subtraction and multiplication. Well, I know I have to do my multiplication first. So I'm going to write here, the 9 stays there. The subtraction I'm not going to do yet. I'm going to do my multiplication. 9 minus 4. And now I do my subtraction. This one was easy. Done. Notice that I'm trying to be organized, doing one step at a time, one below the order. For this, I could even kind of do it in my head. But when we get to this one, that's really, really long, unless I keep track of every step, I'm going to make a mistake. So let's get used to writing each one like this, okay? One step at a time, one below the other. This one, let's see. I have multiplication, addition, and division. I don't have parentheses, and I don't have exponents. So I'm going to go straight here, multiplication, division, Oops, I have both. I have multiplication and division. Which one do I do first? From left to right. So I'm not going to do my addition. I'm going to do, well, the first one here from left to right is multiplication. So I'm going to do this one first. 3 times 4, 12. So this does not exist anymore. I already solved it. But I still have to add, and I still have to divide. Guys, copy everything down one below the other by replacing what you do first. And then you don't even look at this anymore. You look at this now. This is the next expression you need to simplify. I have already done the multiplication. Now I rewrite everything and I look again. What do I do next? Addition or division? Division. So now I do this. I do not touch the 12. I do not touch the addition. I just do my division first. Which one? 6 divided by 2. Not the 12. The number that's being divided by 2 is the 6. Okay, so that's why it's important to rewrite everything. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And now I can add 12 plus 3 is 15. And that's the correct answer in the correct order of operations. Next example. This one is really long, but don't worry. Just go step by step. So I look at this expression and I try to identify which one of those are there. Do I have parentheses? Yes, I do. So that's what I have to do first. So I'm not going to do the multiplication here yet, so I just copy it. I am going to do my parentheses in the exact position that it's at. 12 plus 8 is 20. And I don't need the parentheses anymore because I solved everything. And because I didn't do anything else yet, I just repeat. This is very important. When you send me your work for the practice worksheet, I want you to show me the work step by step like this, one below the other, okay? Next, I've done my parentheses. Do I have exponents here? No, I don't. Do I have multiplication or division? I do. I have multiplication and division. Again, from left to right. First, I'm going to do the multiplication. I'm going to copy everything again because it's the multiplication turn. Now I'm going to go for my division next. I'm not going to add. I'm going to do the division. 20 divided by 4, not the 10. It's the 20 that was already there, just waiting for its turn. Now that I did all of my multiplication and division, I'm going to move to addition and subtraction in order from left to right. So first, 10 plus 5, which is 15. Then I subtract the 2, and the correct answer here is 13. Okay? Last one. I wanted to show you an example that had exponents. So look at this. I have addition, I have parentheses, and I have exponents. So my order of operations says I need to do my parentheses first. So I'm not going to do the addition yet. But if you look at that parentheses there, or brackets, these are more squared off, so I would call them brackets, you have addition and exponents in there. So in order for me to solve this parenthesis, I still need to follow the order of operations. And I'm not going to do 3 plus 10, 13 first. I need to do the exponents first. So I'm going to keep the 3 there, and I'm going to do the 10 squared, or 10 to the second power, 100. Now I still need to do the addition to finish with my parentheses. So this is 103. So now I don't need the parentheses anymore because I solved everything. And now I finally do the last addition, and my final answer is 105. Okay? So I tried to show you a few examples so you have an idea before you can actually try to practice on your own on iExcel and the worksheet that I'm preparing for you. Okay? I hope this helped, and you're going to practice next. All right, bye-bye.